Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Becoming Hour. We made it to episode 3. Can you believe we made it to episode 3? This is a very big accomplishment if you didn't know. Anyway, I'm Lay, and today we're talking about something I don't usually like to talk about because that's the whole topic of this whole episode. The fact that I am shy. And I feel like it has held me back in ways that I'm only just starting to actually understand. And one of my biggest goals for my 20s, which has been my New Year resolution for about 3 years now, is to change that. Not for anyone else or because I feel like society needs me to. It's solely for me and for the opportunities. I know I've already missed some opportunities because of me being shy, but I don't want to miss any more opportunities going forward. So let's get into it. So I feel like I have seemed stuck up, intimidating, bougie, or unapproachable by people who have probably never even spoken a word to me. Like, literally, not one. Somebody can literally build up an entire case against your personality based on the fact that you do not immediately open up to them. But that's the part that gets me. Even though I don't like that, they're not wrong. That something was going on, but they just got it completely wrong. It's not attitude, it's not me being bougie, I'm not arrogant. It's just shyness. And it has always been shyness. And I have been carrying around my shyness my whole entire life. It's just something I can't take off. Once again, you're listening to The Becoming Hour. I'm Lay, and this is a podcast about being a young Black queer woman in college, figuring out who she's becoming while holding everything else together. So, before we get deep into it, let me explain what shyness actually looks like from the inside. Because I think that people hear the word shy and they picture someone who just needs a push. She needs just to come out of her shell. And they say that as if the shell of shyness is temporary or something that just hasn't been worked on ever. For me, it looks like walk into a room and need to just go into my own bubble. Whether that's the floor, the ceiling, the phone, I need to read the papers on the wall. Anything to avoid the moment where I need to make eye contact or talk to a stranger. So, because I don't want to do those things, I just have to figure out what to do with my own face and my own eyes and my own thoughts. It's having an entire conversation prepared in my head so that I don't seem shy, and then when I actually begin to talk, something different comes out. Like, it's wanting to raise your hand in class knowing you know the right answer, knowing you have the right answer. But you wait so long because you're so nervous and your heart starts beating that someone else answered the question. And then you feel relieved, but also you feel frustrated at the same time because you knew that answer, but you didn't raise your hand because you're shy. It's being at a social event and having a great time on the inside, but on the outside, you're constantly trying to solve a problem. People start to think I'm not enjoying myself or I don't want to be somewhere. And I am, and I do. I'm just processing the entire moment in my head quietly, personally. But the older I get, the more I see what it costs me, how there's so many connections that I have never made, rooms I never fully entered, and opportunities that have probably passed because I just wasn't out there enough about wanting them. And I'm actually tired of that. I'm literally tired of it. We need to let go of the shyness for me, though, not for you. But I want to talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough, which I actually have never heard about it, which is what it's like to be black and shy because this show is black, okay? Because as if shyness is not already hard enough. But being black and shy puts you in like a double bind that is exhausting and it's really hard to explain unless you're living it unless you have already lived it. There's already two kinds of spaces I'm navigating in my day to day life being in white spaces versus being in black spaces. And as I feel comfortable in one, at the same time, when it comes to this topic, I feel uncomfortable in both. And they're different kind of discomforts. So first we're going to deep dive in the white spaces. The white spaces such as classrooms, social spaces, workplaces, it's just like my shyness gets layered on top of everything else I'm already dealing with just by being black in the white space. I'm already doing the mental work of being aware of how I'm being perceived or whether I'm being taken seriously, whether I'm welcomed or not. And then on top of that, I'm also shy. So I'm not speaking up. I'm not going to assert myself. I'm not filling the room in the way some people do naturally, okay? And no shade to those people who can naturally just fill up a space, fill up the room with their whole personality, because a lot of the time, us shy people wish we could be like that, okay? We wish we could just go into a room, fill up a space, and, shine. But the truth is, I actually have a lot to contribute. I just need more time to feel safe enough to open up and do it. And in white spaces, a lot of the time, they rarely make you feel safe enough to open up. So I just stay quiet. I just stay quiet and say probably little things that I need to say. But other than that, I'm not saying much in a white space. But there's something like really frustrating about like knowing that you have something to say, but not knowing how or not feeling like you can say it because the space doesn't like belong to you. It's not where society feels you're supposed to be? I'm already in a white space and then God forbid I have something to say on top of that. Like, no, absolutely not. Then there's the other side. And this one is harder to say out loud because it touches home. It touches home. In black spaces, spaces that are supposed to feel like home. When you're shy, black spaces can really make you feel like you failed a test. There's a certain energy, a certain confidence, a certain way that is expected in black spaces. And if you're quiet, if you hang back, if you take a while to warm up, or you're just not comfortable, you're not loud enough, you're not cool enough, you're not comfortable in your own skin. Dare I say, you're not black enough. Have been in rooms full of black people and still felt alone because I just couldn't get myself to open up and connect. Seem like everyone's just able to do that. And then it starts to become lonely because you think in your mind, oh, these are supposed to be my people. This is home. This is supposed to be my safe space. But the shyness is still getting in the way. I can't just open up my mouth and talk. But because of that, I'm made to feel like I'm less than. But I want to be careful because I love, love, love Black spaces. I love Black community. And I'm not blaming the Black space or the Black community. I'm just simply naming what it feels like to bring shyness into any space, including the ones that are built for you because y'all don't get a pass because you were built for me. My shyness doesn't check itself at the door just because I enter a room full of people who look like me. What being uncomfortable in both spaces does, it makes you feel like there's nowhere that you fully fit. You're always on the outside looking in no matter what. spaces. You're too quiet for one room, you're too reserved for another. And that's actually a big part of why I want to change, though. Not because there's something wrong or because I feel like there's something wrong with who I am, but simply because I'm tired of my shyness being able to decide what rooms I'm able to be in or what rooms I'm able to be myself in. I just want to be myself, completely 100% me in any room that I walk in, and I'm working on that. Though I know I will never be completely 100% an extrovert, but there's work I can do to, change it a little bit, help me come out my shell better, help me gain more opportunity, which is the whole reasoning as to why I want to change this part of me or make it better. I don't want to say change because being shy is really just a part of who I am. I genuinely believe I was born this way. There's nothing in my life that has happened that made me shy. I was born this way. Now, the part that everyone who knows me personally already knows. When you first meet me, it may come off as stuck up, bougie, unapproachable, unbothered. And the thing is, once people actually get to know me, it's always the same reaction like, oh my gosh, Aud, you're actually so nice. Like, I thought you were mean when I first met you. It gave you didn't like me. As if I'm supposed to take that as a compliment. That's not a compliment. Like, thank you for updating me on your wrong first impression of me. But what I, it makes me sad when people say that because why would I want to give that off as my first impression? I don't want you to just write me off within the first 5 minutes because I didn't warm up fast enough for you. But honestly, that's just the real with being shy. Like, sometimes you will get mistaken for being rude, and some people will figure it out, some people won't figure it out. And that's where I just have to leave it up to them. There's nothing that I have done. So, what do you do when you know your shyness is costing you? You mask it. You have to perform the version of yourself that the situation needs at the time and the moment that you're in. Okay? I've gotten good. I've gotten better than I was at turning on. I think I've gotten good enough that people are genuinely surprised when I tell them, like, no, I'm actually really shy. I could be lying. There could be someone listening to this, a friend, a family member that's like, girl, what are you even talking about? But even if I try to mask it, no matter what, there's a separate experience happening on the inside of my body that nobody can see. There's a pregame before every interaction. Every interaction is calculated. Every word is calculated because I have to make sure that, it's just like good for me to say. I don't know. But doing that every day is tiring in a way, but at the same time, you just get used to it. The hardest part about masking it is that when it works well, people stop making space for your shyness to be back on. After you mask it, you have like there's if they only see you during the performance when you're tired and you genuinely have nothing left and your social battery has completely ran out, they don't give you no grace for it. Once someone has seen you at your full performance, they expect that at all times of the day. But to be quite frank, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to spend my whole entire life performing. I just want to actually get to the ease. I want to feel the confidence. I want to be real. I don't want to rehearse before I talk to someone. I want to be comfortable to ask a question. I want to be comfortable to make friends, to go up to people, I want to look approachable. I want to be approachable. But we're working through it and we're going to get to that other side. It will come. But I know there's someone out there who's listening to this and they're just gonna be like, oh, She just turned my thoughts into words. And that's what I want to do. I just want to be really relatable. I want people to feel like they listen to this podcast and they're like, wow, I'm not the only person going through the same thing. This is also my daily life, you know? One of my biggest goals for my 20 is to come out of my shyness. I said that in the beginning. But I don't want that to be mistaken that I wanna become a different person. I don't wanna perform extroversion. I don't wanna feel like I'm just performing to be an extrovert. But I wanna get to a place in life where my shyness is not the loudest thing when I walk into a room, or when an opportunity shows up, or when I'm trying to make a new friend. I just want the confidence to be the loudest thing that walks in the room. I think about how many times I had something to say, but I just swallowed it and never said anything. Or so many rooms, especially in college, where I just sat quietly when I had every right to take up all of the space in the room. But I don't want to look back at my 20s and just read off a list of things that I almost did or that I should have done. Because we're just going to look forward at things we're going to do and we're going to have, you know? But I want opportunities. I want real opportunities. I want opportunities that come from speaking up, from walking to a room and letting people know that you're there and you're ready to accept opportunities. But I know that shyness has been standing between me and those opportunities for up until now. Not forever, but enough that it matters, enough that I'm able to say that I want these things. So this is me documenting it to hold me accountable. I'm going to start making different choices, one conversation at a time. A conversation I would have avoided, I'm going to have. The room I'm trying to retreat from, I'm going to stay in. That's how it changes. You see, I have to keep taking deep breaths because this podcast is another way of me coming out of my shyness, and I thought that's why it was super important that this be one of the first episodes because as of today, maybe two people who are actually close to me know I have this podcast. And I want to post it on my personal social media. And I know people are going to be like, she's so shy. How in the world can she have a podcast where the one thing she will have to do is talk? I'm capable of talking. It's just, do I want to talk to you? But we're changing that. I just said we're changing that today. I'm going to talk to you today. But yeah, this changes on purpose. I'm going to do one small brave thing at a time. And honestly, I think a lot of people are sitting with the same thing, especially in our generation after COVID. We just don't know how to talk. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to talk to people. We don't know how to go get opportunities the same way our parents do and did. Ugh, I hate that about us though. Like, I really do. I wish we were just able to be less afraid of our own voices and just took up more space in the room. You can't let the shyness make the decisions that belong to you. So, if you feel like that is you, this episode is for the both of us. We're all figuring this shit out together, okay? All of it. If you have ever been called stuck up for being quiet, if you have ever been called unapproachable because you're shy, I see you. If you have ever felt out of place in a room that was supposed to feel like home, simply because your shyness got there before you did, I see you. If you have ever watched opportunity pass right before your eyes When you know deep down if you would have just opened your mouth and spoke up, you would have gotten it. I see you because that's me. And I want you guys to know something. Shyness is not your personality. It's not your whole story. It's just a small part of what makes you. Okay? Your 20s are super long. There's lots of time. We still have time to grow into our our big girl voices because we're baby adults. And we will find the rooms where we feel safe. And today's task is to just practice being a little braver, even if that means tomorrow in class, you actually raise your hand and answer that question you know the answer to, because it will get easier. Though it doesn't happen all at once, I think it happens just a little bit of braveness at a time. At a time, at a time, and a time, we'll figure this out. I'm Lay. This is the Becoming Hour. I'm shy. I'm still gonna be shy tomorrow, but we gonna try, okay? And I'll see you next week. Hopefully you come back. Bye, guys.